I'm going to embarrass the organisers a little bit, because when I came here tonight, the brief was talk about what it's like to be an ethnic minority in business, talk about what it's like to be a faith minority in business, and talk about what it's like to be a female in business. And I just kind of chuckled to myself a little bit. It's kind of like, well, I'm only like one box out probably, and then I've got like a full house. So, the funny thing is, I actually wouldn't have it any other way, genuinely. I believe that diversity isn't just difference, but it's difference added. And actually, we wouldn't have I Eat Foods making the contribution that it did to Sainsbury's and Tesco had I not been Muslim, Asian, and female. And the irony is that as a Muslim, female, and Asian, had I wanted to set this business up in the Middle East, I probably wouldn't have been given as good a crack at it as I have done in the UK, which is why I really love this country, and which is why I encourage the younger generation here today, why I really encourage the youth to kind of really take all of the opportunities that are given to them, because they're brilliant in this country, and it's a fantastic thing to have at your disposal. I talked a little bit about sort of my inspiration. One thing I will say, given that we've got some young people here as well, is whenever you've got kind of all of those barriers in place, you've got your ethnicity, and you've got your gender, and you've got your race, and you guys have got your age as well. There's two things that you could probably do that really, really help you, kind of give you the tools that you need to kind of take on the Goliaths of this world. And that is, the first one is content, right? So I remember my high school teacher took me aside and said, "You're really smart, but there's one thing that you need to do in order to kind of really excel." And I thought she was going to give me like some sports lessons, or I don't know, something crazy. Actually, she said, "Here's a jar. Every single time you miss the letter T out in your words, I want you to put 5p in it." Because I used to always do the butter, Saturday, water, party. And yeah, and she recognized that actually I needed to shape that up, because you won't get taken seriously if you can't speak properly. You won't get taken seriously if you don't brush up on your arts and sciences. And that's really, really important for every young person in this room, is just to make sure that your content is really on point. You know, take the time to kind of really hone your skills, and then actually all of the barriers that you think are there will really quickly disappear. And note that the size of the fear of your barriers is actually bigger than the barrier itself. So just disregard that completely and use your content to sharpen that up. And the second tool is your intention. We went into the business not to make loads of money, not to have a Ferrari and a yacht and a holiday every year and all that kind of stuff. We actually went in with the intention of doing good, you know, to raise the bar of the halal industry, because we thought it was quite poor at the time. And we went in because I wanted to honor a role model of mine, a lady called Khadija. So for those of you in the room who don't know, Khadija was the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and was an incredible businesswoman, and someone who died. So she would have been a billionairess in today's terms. Like, that's how much money she had. But she would have died without a coin to her name, because she used all of her wealth to support the early Muslim community when it was going through its very toughest time. So my intention was always to kind of honor her by having a business that did good and gave back to the community. So if you go in with the right intentions and you go in with your content on point, you'll end up doing really well and actually disregarding any of the kind of barriers that people try to put in front of you.